This is Reem Ibrahim from the think tank the Institute of Economic Affairs. She's dispatched to promote corporate interests and defend right-wing talking points. We've already seen some of her gross stupidity when she said this.
Yeah, I completely disagree. I don't think that one can stir up physical violence with language, and I think that what Nigel Farage has actually done is no. I don't think so.
Now watch this clip from Politics Live when George Monbiot called her out during a debate on whether growth is always a good thing. Watch her pathetic attempt to laugh it off and frame George as some kind of conspiracy nut.
I would be interested in how you would like to measure general well-being, because ultimately I think we all want the world to be a better place. We all want the country to be a better place to live in. But ultimately I think that is done not through more government, but less. And I actually do think that by allowing businesses and allowing those individuals to trade with one another, that's how we can achieve that kind of growth. And I don't think that growth is a bad thing. I think growth is a very positive thing. It's very politically charged. Both parties seem to think that they have an idea of how to get there. But ultimately, if we're actively implementing policies that are not going to be supporting the way in which the economy is growing, we've got to stop talking about growth in that way.
Well, of course you want to rip down regulations. Of course you don't care about the natural world. Because you're from the Institute of Economic Affairs, which is funded by oligarchs and corporations.
George.
Yes, and I should be. And actually the BBC should be as well, because the BBC says that the funding and affiliations of the organisations which come onto its programmes should be revealed. But the IEA pointedly and continually refuses to reveal who funds it. When we find out who funds you, we discover it's oil companies, it's tobacco companies, it's George, the most ruthless and rapacious companies on earth, and you're their spokesperson.
This is some kind of wild conspiracy that he's incredibly obsessed with. And look, I appreciate that this is the kind of thing that you're obsessed with individually. I would like to actually talk about the policy matters at hand, because I actually would like to talk about the way in which people in this country are suffering.
And on whose behalf are you talking?
Myself, I'm talking about myself.
And you just happen to be employed by the Institute of Economic Affairs,
look,
which happens to be funded by oligarchs.
George, don't dispute her motives. That's what her motives are.
I do dispute her motives.
Let's talk about effectively what George is saying is he thinks that I'm being funded by dark lobbyists because he doesn't think that I believe the things that I'm saying, which I think is incredibly offensive for you to sit here and tell me that I don't believe the things that I'm saying. I come from countries that have been decimated by socialism. I believe in individual liberty. I believe in free markets, and I believe in people having the power to spend their own money without governments taking it from them. So I'm incredibly offended by this insinuation.
And like the other dark money think tank staff,
all right,
lavishly
George, there's two things.
Click here for Dom Jolly confronting IEA mouthpiece Matthew Lesh.